Welcome everybody, today it's a Company Fears 2 cast and we see DeSantis playing as the Ostherr. Not the Südherr anymore, in Company Fears 2 it's the Ostherr. And he's playing against Hick Not Geek, playing as the Soviets. And with that, let's start the replay and have fun. I deactivated the Fog of War though, so that we can see what both players are doing. A good luck, have fun, and a plus from Hick Not Geek. That's nice. Hick Not Geek is going for the T2 instantly, so we won't see a sniper from him. And DeSantis is going for the T1, and he's going for Grens. He's not building an instant MG, that's interesting against Soviets. Usually we see like 1 or 2 MGs from the Wehrmacht player paired up with 3 Grens into something like a 2-2-2, 1 or 2 anti-tank guns. Sooner or later there are 2 anti-tank guns, of course. 2 Panzer IVs, stuff like that. And DeSantis is spreading his army a little bit. He's not building any sandbags. Oh, okay. Just talking about sandbags. He is building sandbags. Nice. That's great to see. Hick Not Geek is playing a nice and sturdy conscript build. Oh, and wow, okay, that's interesting. We mixed up the roles of the fractions in this match. That's interesting. So usually I would like to, or I would expect to see the Wehrmacht player playing 1 or 2 MGs, as I already said. Now we are seeing the Soviet player playing at least 1 MG. Okay, nice, and I see what his plan is over here. So he's spreading his army so that the pioneer is just doing the capping over here, and his his main combat army with the MG and the conscript is engaging from this direction, which is actually a good idea because the main army, let's say, on this map is always in a better spot when it's engaging from like over here at the southern army, of course, because of the green cover over here. Same applies for the green cover over here for the northern army, and DeSantis is making use of that. I mean, that's a pretty bad fight for the conscript for the Soviet player, as we can see. Should have been retreating way earlier. In the meantime, the MG is engaging. Ooh, we are seeing four grenadiers for the Wehrmacht player. So most likely, I assume that DeSantis is going for the Jäger infantry doctrine and is upgrading his grenadiers with the G43, and maybe get some Jäger commandos on top. That's quite a sturdy build. Interestingly, the MG insta retreated, and I think that's making the Ostherr player winning this fight over here, as well as the fight over here. So, yeah, quite a misplay of the Soviet player. At the same time, it's interesting to see that the Soviet player just unintentionally picked the correct counter to 4 Grens, which is actually just to build some MGs. But at the same time, it's not working out as intended, I guess. Okay, maybe he's getting back the map control over here. Yeah, the Flamer is doing a great job against the Pioneer squad in green cover, which is taking additional damage due to the Flamer. That's nice to see. Yep. Take back your cutoff. That's important for the Rodina. Look at this ancient MG. Isn't that beautiful? Company Fears 2. Great. Let's move on, conscripts. Alright, so yeah, that's great. So the Soviet player is denying the green cover for the Austria player. That's a wise choice. And he just occupied the garrison in the center of the map. It's also a good choice. And now I think the Soviet player is in a better squad actually, better spot actually, because I mean, he's having 2 MGs and he occupies the center of the map as well as his cutoff and the fuel. At the same time, unfortunately, he's overextended with this MG. I think he can do it more or less. However, at the same time, this Gren is staying behind green cover. Thus, he won't get pinned. And the MG is not staying in any cover. Most likely, it's getting outflanked now. Ooh, and it has to retreat again, and then he will lose his cutoff. Ooh, oh no. That's bad. Yeah, some more conscripts for the Soviet player would have been a good idea, I guess. On the other hand, he picked the Konterangriffstaktik. Most likely to get the Stoßtruppen quite early. Soon he's hitting the second command point so that he can get the Stoßtruppen. And the manpower he's having actually is enough to get them. However, unfortunately, DeSantis did the correct thing to build a 2-2. And this is countering the Stoßtruppen pretty severely. The early game, as long as the Soviet player is not having an anti-tank gun, and unfortunately he's not having it. And just having 2 conscripts maybe not quite enough to have enough snare capabilities. Ooh, double 2-2-2. That is incredibly juicy. Most likely that's a GG now because the conscript player is not having enough anti-tank capabilities. Interestingly, we are seeing that the conscript player decided to plant a sentry at this house. Great choice, I love it. However, now, yeah. He is building the anti-tank gun now, however it's coming way too late and just 1 anti-tank gun is not enough. Is he having the upgrade already? Yes, okay. He's having the snare grenades for his conscripts. We see 1 snare grenade, okay, okay, that is good. However, the conscripts already can use their Ura ability so that they can sprint, and I think he should have used that immediately, because, yeah, he could have been killing the 2-2-2. Unfortunately, he didn't do it. He's trying to chase the 2-2-2 without the Ura. I think that's a mistake. Is he throwing the grenade? No. Oh, and that could be a wipe. Everybody who's who knows my Company Furious 2 Ostheer plays, I'm a huge fan of multiple 2-2-2s, maybe even a 2-2-2 spam, because that can be incredibly powerful early on if you have enough reconnaissance to know that your enemy is maybe not having enough anti-tank to deal with it. Just 1 anti-tank gun and 2 conscripts is suddenly a little bit weak against multiple 2-2-2s. I mean 2-2-2s? 2 2-2-2s already is enough to perform to outperform the army composition of the Soviet player at the moment. However, I think 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 2-2-2s would have been very funny to see. Yeah, DeSantis did the mistake that he clumped up his 2 grenadiers. I think a better choice would be to kite the Stoßtruppen in one direction, whereas the second grenadier is fighting from another direction to the Stoßtruppen. Oh, now they... Whoa! What did we just see here? Wait a second. Were there 2 mines? Were there 2 mines? I have no idea. Don't think so, actually. Ah, okay. There were 2 mines. There was a Teller mine next to the mine 35 from the Soviets. Ah, well played, DeSantis. Okay, I like that. So, however, at the same time, I'm a little bit confused. DeSantis is not having a minesweeper, so... Or did he just lose a second Pioneer squad with a minesweeper? Interesting, yeah. It's interesting to follow the conversation as well, because I mean, I'm also a little bit confused how DeSantis plays the teller mine next to the mine of the Soviet player. I mean, that's quite a common play. If you sweep a mine of your enemy, usually it's rather a teller mine of the Austria player and the Soviet player is sweeping it. Okay, it's detecting it, but not sweeping it. And then places a T-35 mine next to the teller mine, so that next time the enemy player is engaging with anything, like the Stoßsturm for instance, he feels confident because he thinks, oh, my mine's still laying there and it's undetected, I can engage, and then he hits his own mine due to the counter mine of the enemy. However, this time DeSantis, now he's having a minesweeper, but he got the minesweeper after this play, so I'm confused how he did it actually. Maybe it was just a very rare coincidence that he planted a mine and was lucky enough not to hit the T-35 mine with his Pioneer. Interesting. Interesting. Oh, wait a second. Ah, no, now I get it. It was not a countermine. Yeah, okay, that was what DeSantis was just telling the Austria player, the Soviet player. So DeSantis just planted a teller mine over here. Okay, it was a teller mine, and the 222 unintentionally hit the teller mine during the engagement of the Stoßtruppen. Now I get it. Okay, and this caused the teller mine to explode and wiping the Stoßtruppen. Ooh, is DeSantis losing his anti-tank gun? Ooh, spicy. Could the 222 die now? But at the same time, unfortunately, I guess this MG is in a bad spot. Oh no, the 222 is coming away, and now the Soviet player is lacking the backups for his anti-tank guns, and I think both will get decrewed. Come on, DeSantis! Circle them! Encircle them! What are you doing? Run! We want to see the aggressive 222. Okay, he's playing safely. That's some smart choice, I guess. Let's deactivate the fog of war again. I mean, he's having severe map control. And he's going for a Ostwind. Oh, okay. In Company Affairs 3, the new Wirbelwind will be the Südwind. In the future, I guess. That's a good idea, isn't it? So we see the Ostwind. The Ostwind Flakpanzer. There it is. Oh, the almighty Ostwind Flakpanzer with a nice skin, actually. It's a stealth Ostwind. Look how quiet it is. The motor is not doing any sounds. Incredible unit. That were the future World War II techs of the German army back then. Now we can hear it, okay. It's funny to see that the 222 up here still died. However, now with the Ostwind, I think... and the... Ooh, okay, it's certainly a GG. The Soviet player lost a Vet 3 conscript and his anti-tank gun. This gun is quite important in this matchup at the moment, and he lost it, so I think DeSantis could be a little bit more confident to just base rush the Soviet player at the moment. However, he wants to play safe and deny the units that are still back on the field at the moment. That's still a good choice, I guess. Okay. There was the drop of Hick Not Geek. Interesting to see this matchup, actually, because I mean the Soviet player went for 2 MGs and the Wehrmacht player did build any MGs against the Soviets. So that is incredibly risky, because if the Soviet player is performing a proper conscript build with like 4 or maybe even 5 conscripts, which is not a rare thing to see actually, then the Wehrmacht player is having quite a hard time. And interestingly, DeSantis chose the Jäger infantry doctrine with a G43. Oh, he didn't deploy any G43s to his grenadiers. I mean, there is the option to upgrade the grenadiers with both, actually, the LMG as well as the G43. However, we don't see any G43s side of the heads of these frozen grenadiers over here. So they are just happy with their K98, which is fine as well, and the LMG 43, which is sitting in the 42, which is sitting in the bush. Hitting in the bush, hiding in the bush. What's going on? German Blautier is doing German language stuff again. Alright, still interesting to see both of the players' plays. Next, the Soviet player was just about to go for the T4, most likely to get out himself a... No, wait a second. Ah, yeah, okay, there's T3, there's the T4. So we want, most likely was about to go for a T34. I think that's... one can do that. However, at the same time, I mean, he was quite far away from having the fuel for building a T34. So, or maybe he was even saving up for a KV1. Both, I guess, would have been a mistake. He should have been going for a T17. Or maybe, since he was having some severe issues keeping up the map control, maybe even the flak half-track would have been a good choice. Because it's even cheaper, fuel-wise. And I think he was having enough ammunitions to support the upgrade for the flak half-track, which costs 90 munitions, I guess. Still, nice match. And with that, I would like to say GG, well played, and good time.
till 59.